Welcome back to Two Beerded Guys. Guys, it is episode 21.
21, we are legal.
Yeah, we are legal. That we tossed out the fake IDs. We're ready to go today.
Let's go.
This is pretty exciting, actually. 21 episodes. I mean, whoo!
Since January. 21 official episodes, really, technically, but...
I am
21 episodes to start a habit.
I am TBG_ops guy.
I am my dog, BQ.
With us today, you guys know and love him.
Ugly Pete.
And behind the camera, the one and only
Oscar and Matt.
Hey, he's a little enthusiastic today. Not quite full enthusiasm, but we're getting there.
I'll take it.
I got to build up. I'm not that enthusiastic of a person.
But welcome back, guys. We have some really tasty beers. We're actually starting off today with one that we are unbelievably excited about. We'll talk about what our most anticipated is before we go, but it's one of those that we've been looking forward to just in general.
Yeah, it's one of those that I knew when I bought it, I was just like, what the hell am I doing? I kind of have to at this point.
I told him not to.
Yeah, but we're super excited for it. Thanks, Pete, for sponsoring it. So
yeah, which today's episode is brought to us by
Water Performance Technology.
So those with...
Talking about underrated enthusiasm.
It's like ain't nobody watching this gonna do anything.
I'm not here for the business. I'm here for the beer.
But at the same time, we appreciate you, Pete. And I know that, like, we know you because you do water for breweries, but is that the only thing you do water for?
No, we take care of hospitals, manufacturing facilities, pretty much everything nobody knows about when it comes to water. We're the guys.
And that includes some boiler treatment stuff, because I know I've used you for that.
Yeah, so all the chemistry that goes into the water systems and the mechanical side as well.
Wow, we went into the boring part of the show right away.
Well, it's because we're going to start off with...
Because he's giving us money.
We're going to fire right into a really good beer, hopefully, right?
Yes. Well, we hope it's good.
Well,
at the price
I really do.
At the price of this motherfucker, it better be good.
This might have the greatest chance of falling short of hope and expectation, this beer.
Oh, absolutely. All right, before we do talk about the first beer, what one? And we're not going to count that.
Okay.
Out of the other 6... I can count, yes. Out of the other 6, what is your most anticipated?
So, I am really looking forward to the Pax Verum because they do the local Indiana brewery. They do really good beer, and they're not. I feel like they're underrated in our local craft beer community. If you know them, you know they do good stuff, but they're not well known because they're out of LaPel, Indiana, which is like 500 people or some shit. So I'm really excited for that one. Pete, what are you looking forward to?
That greens.
Okay.
I just like that it looks like a Super Mario 3.
Yeah.
On the can.
Talking about cease and desist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it looks like when your TV screws up and you only have one color. That's what it looks like.
Shades of green.
Yes.
I'm actually... I was going to say the Bitch Be Cool by Pax Verum originally, but... Honestly, it's going to actually be the Pineapple Upside Down Means Cake.
Fair.
We haven't had a bad mean beer from Windmill yet. And if it's even remotely as good as Mean de la Cream, I'm going to be in a happy, happy place. Especially if we start with the one we're starting with and it's as good as we hope. And then towards the end we hit that and it's as good as I hope. It'd be just a great bookend kind of day. So,
Matt.
I gotta agree with Tyler. If we're taking out the one that has the greatest chance to fall short of hope, the pineapple meme is the one I'm looking most forward to as well.
I expected him to say the abusive stout.
Right.
Well, I've just really become a big Windmill fanboy, and the memes have always been good. Like I said, I haven't had a bad one yet, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Speaking of which,
love
you
my
got
stouts,
picture taken.
Yeah, the worst one we've had so far is average. So.
Also.
Oh my God! You're not wearing your hoodie.
I haven't been for a little while. It's warm out now, man.
Or his windmill hat.
Right, that's what's the windmill hat.
No, he switched up hats again today.
Yeah,
he went to the dark side.
Let the record show I've been switching hats pretty much every week.
Almost.
Yeah,
You've worn windmill multiple times, though.
Well, that's before I started cycling, in fairness, I think. But Brett said
Russell's on its way.
Of course, my brother said something.
Yeah, well,
already.
I was going to say, I don't know if he realized that's called the voyeur cam. He's like, I feel like a creeper.
That is the voyeur cam.
Shit. You just mentioned Russell.
And, Russ said, hey, listen, I watched it from the Eternity Ward. Thank you for the dedication.
Oh, he's not doing the show today, is he? Fuck yeah. Wait, are they really watching for the maternity ward?
That's what he said.
Jesus Christ. Love you, Russ. Which, congratulations to Russell Hecumus Owens and Liv for their new arrival, Mr. Xander Dorian.
Yeah. I'm sure they named the beer after the Dorian from Scarlet Lake.
Yeah, that's it, right?
That is a
Middle
lofty
name's
name,
after.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name is Xander Dorian, and there's another middle name, I think. I can't remember what it is.
I was going to write it down, and I forgot.
I got 2 out of 3. I'm really happy with myself.
That's a pretty badass name, but with a name like that, you gotta live up to it.
Oh,
It's got some huevos.
Hey, I know
Russ, Russ and Liv definitely put some weight on that kid, naming him Xander Dorian.
6 pounds, 13 ounces, 20 inches.
Why the fuck do you know that off the top of your head?
I'm a stats guy, right?
He's a numbers guy.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I guess they're in Rain.
Rain. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Fucking Xander Dorian Rain.
Yeah, that is definitely like a saucy name.
I don't know. It should be Rain Dorian. Everybody go outside and drink the rain every time it rains.
Especially in McCordsville. Ah.
Well, congratulations,
Yeah,
buddy.
we're really excited for you, bud. You two live. We're happy for the 2 of you. So, anyway, even if you do like Mudhog more than may live.
Live, enjoy those Percocets or Vicodins, whatever.
Yeah, whatever they gave you, enjoy them. It's time to have our first beer.
It is.
I can't talk anymore without opening.
It's not even a beer, technically, right?
Well, let's do the before, and then the after. All right.
I'm just excited.
I know.
Anyway, so we're drinking Anchorage Brewing Company's. They did this shit all weird.
Yep.
Double oaked barley wine. It is a 17% barley wine.
Starting off big voices.
Start.
It's called Deal with the Devil.
Yep.
And that's pretty much all I can read on the can, which they don't typically put a ton anyways.
And why is that, Tyler?
Because it is waxed on the bottom. I don't really get the point, but it's fine.
So, well,
It looks really cool.
If you wax
cool.
the top, how the hell you gonna open the can?
Well, if you're spending $50 a can, it better fucking be cool. So they put wax on it.
And the artwork is cool. The wax is cool. Yeah.
While you're pouring, Good Beer Fella joined on. Haven't
What's
seen him in a
up,
while. Hey,
buddy?
everybody. And Carrie Davis says, I'm watching all the way from High Sierras in California.
Woo!
Fuck yeah. We have 2 West Coasters
Sitting
watching.
here without a beer, though. Sad face.
Aw.
No.
You're doing this show wrong.
Well, we'll be drinking this 17%er in your honor, Carrie.
Yeah, go walk to the fridge, please. Here, you can.
I wanted to give you a little bit more
I'm
since
good.
you,
Oh,
Yeah.
paid for it.
what?
The walk to the fridge, that's something I saw like on the Tinder. Someone's like, I enjoy long romantic walks to the fridge. I'm like, yep, swipe right,
I said
yes, like I like you.
I'm like you.
That was a
My
little bit,
favorite workouts, 12-ounce
That's
pearls.
pretty
Yeah.
there was a little bit more in there.
Can?
Oh, I don't want to let go of it. It's
I
so
know.
pretty.
If you love something, Tyler, you set it free.
No, you drink the fuck out of it.
You want some
Alright.
meditation while we're on there? We need that spin board. Like it's been recommended, John.
It does smell good. Multiple times.
Dude, we have so much other shit we have to pay for to make this show better. I'm not putting a goddamn little spin board.
Hiring actual real hosts.
I would say new cast.
We just hire out. We produce.
All
Two
right.
Bearded Guys got a lot thinner and more handsome.
But is that Brad Pitt and Matt Damon? No, we said thinner. Oh, so not Matt Damon. No.
Old Matt Damon. We've got a time machine.
Oh, boys.
I got a jab at Matt Damon. That's not an everyday occurrence.
Yeah. Beerfella says he's on the clock till midnight. Drink for me. We shall, sir.
Oh man.
Ooh, that's rich.
It smells like a stout.
That's boozy.
Mm.
It's
John,
rich.
That was almost
That
as good as
was-
like a cam reaction right there.
Yeah, that might have to be a short pour. That's good.
Your face
A lot
tells
of
a
dark
story.
fruit.
Oh yeah. Smooth as hell.
Oh, yeah. For as boozy as it is, it could go down pretty
It's
quick.
definitely on the DUI show.
This is above the DUI show.
This is the guy that has money to burn.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't even care about DUIs anymore.
This guy's like, I've got 3. I'm going for 4. Let's drink this can.
I hit a scratch off 5 minutes ago. And I get some money burning a hole in my
Which,
wallet.
since we're not going to burn through this one real quick, I do want to show John and I's new hats. Excuse my ridiculous amount of hair I have right now. But we got the Ops Guy hat and the Mudhog B&Q.
I just want to say there's been more of the Mudhog sold than
Well,
Ops Guy.
considering one's going to Mexico and we're fairly certain it's fraud, we're not counting it.
Oh no, I know another one's been sold too.
And of course, Liv's obsessed with you.
So she got like what? 4?
She has good taste.
She bought 7, okay? Doesn't count. She used different names for all of them, but they all went to the same address.
One's for Xander.
One's for Xander, one's for Dorian, one's for Rain. One's for...
Yes.
It's actually why the kid got 3 names.
Get an extra hat.
Wes got Stephen Fox on. He says, "Old Matt Damon."
What is up, Steve?
Yes. We need to have Steve on too.
We do. Jordan says he shouldn't be allowed on.
Oh, okay.
Jordan says he won't shut up. He'll talk more than even I do, or Pete does, or
Oh, good.
yeah. So she's a little afraid to have him on the show. I said that sounds like a fucking blast.
Yeah,
to
Sounds
me.
good
excited. I want to see that.
Yeah.
I want to moderate that.
I'm like, if you can out-talk me, it's gonna be
That's
impressive.
like green and red
That's where
flashcards I can point at you
You
guys.
just need a buzzer.
Steve starts talking.
Ooh, I wonder if that would work on Chris.
No,
Or
it doesn't.
I wonder if it would work on Jason. He'd be so pissed.
He would be
You're done.
Every time he gets in a tangent. Story went too long.
Pavlov training. I mean, back on topic.
Yeah, so to the barley wine, actually, good segue. So we had the conversation an episode or two ago about malt beverage versus beer. Like barley wine, is that kind of a segment separate from beer as well, or is it still a beer? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
John, you brew more than I do.
Because I kind of feel like even like a mead is similar. But
It's my
mead's
favorite
definitely
style, and
separate.
I don't know how to describe it like
Yeah.
that. People ask me all the time, and I honestly...
So I know when we brewed the wheat wine recently, it was like 50% wheat. So I'm assuming if we're going to call it a barley wine, I mean it's going to be like a heavy amount of a specific barley.
Mhm.
I mean I don't know. That's a pure stab in the dark. So
Bar-
I've never made one.
Wikipedia definition.
I mean, it's got
Barley
in the
wine is a
name.
strong ale, typically between 6 and 12%.
Oh, not 17.
So
It says typically.
Oh, I was gonna say because this is more
There
like
are... The English is the SRM, so the color is between 8 and 22. It's a wide range.
Okay.
The American narrows more, and it's between 10 and 19 typically.
Ooh, I'm gonna try the 22 then.
A little bit of
This is
a.
17.
Well, no, that's SRM.
The color.
That's the color.
Not
Oh, I thought we were
color
still
rating.
on alcohol percentage. I'm like, yeah.
No. Color rating.
The malt
So,
percentage
a little
is
bit of a red tint.
100% malt.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all. That's
But when
all I'm
think,
getting on Wiki right now.
But when I think malty, it's not over the top.
No, the dark fruit definitely.
Yes. It's got that rich, dark fruitness.
Oh, it
But
absolutely
it's,
does.
It's not overpowering. It's still very smooth. It's boozy, but you wouldn't guess 17. At least I wouldn't.
I wouldn't guess 17. Although it does leave a little tingle on the tongue.
It's a little.
Oh, it's warm.
Yeah.
It's warm.
It gives you just that little tingle like, ooh, you're drinking alcohol. You're not
Yeah.
just drinking like a beer or something. You're drinking alcohol.
It is.
You're here to have fun, sir.
Right. It is slightly viscous without being too syrupy.
It's an extremely soft mouthfeel.
It
Yeah.
almost has
Which,
a
by the
slight
way-
licorice taste to it.
You shut your dirty mouth. It does not.
Which, by the way, guys, for those of you that have watched the show and know how much John says viscous, I did it for you there.
Thank you, sir.
And mouthfeel. There actually are shirts now that have mouthfeel and viscous definitions with our my face
Yeah.
for mouthfeel and his face for viscous. So
Viscuous.
I couldn't do it twice.
Say it right.
I don't know if anyone's ever gonna buy those, but I was just like, I'm just gonna make these.
I
shit.
kind of want to buy one because they're hilarious.
Yeah, they are.
It's definitely entertaining.
But I've also spent way too much money on our merch.
And I kind of made the definitions
buy
be a
one that
little
says
bit
mouthfeel.
double entendre.
Yes.
I just because I'm a dirty old man. Mouthfeel. Like, how's your day? Well, I had a beer. Read my shirt.
But yeah,
FEEL, not FILL. I just want you to
Listen,
know.
I'm an engineer. I can't spell. I'm lucky that I can speak the broken English that I have.
so I know we haven't really talked about this a lot, but it's kind of one of those. It's a little sweet without being over the top. Like, it's not sugary. It's just like that natural fruit sweetness.
Right, yeah.
That malt sweetness. It's the sugar definitely. There was a lot there.
They're a little bit brown sugar.
But other than that, I mean, I think we've kind of said everything on it.
It's
Barley wines are hard to describe if you've never had one.
one of the top barley wines I've had.
And we've had some good ones now on
We
the
have
show.
had some good ones. I'm
I'm starting to
mad
get
about it at
impressed
all.
with the barley wine selection we've had. Between the JW Lees. What was that? last
Westbound
week.
and Down was
Westbound and Down was
honestly
good.
It was so good. So, yeah, I'm enjoying this one.
It was my first.
Yeah,
Barley wine.
I'd say Westbound and Down was good.
Yeah,
we
never
gave it a
had barley
4.25.
You
If
popped
barley
my
wines are
cherry
well
on this
made,
one.
it's typically quite good. I
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
usually like them. And
Hey,
they
John,
are typically
what?
higher
This,
alcohol,
this
too.
is my barley wine first.
Wait,
right
we
here.
popped your cherry
You
with
popped
this
my
thing?
Cherry with the
Oh
barley
boy.
wine. You've ruined everything.
No, I
Mostly-
know a couple that could still live up.
Mostly downhill from here.
I know a couple. I know a couple.
You've dated the prettiest girl you ever
But
dated. You're not gonna marry her. Here's what's going to happen.
I've drank a lot of barley wines. I only know a couple that are gonna keep match wits with this
Okay.
thing.
Great. Well, I don't have to ever drink one again.
I was told that the amount that we paid for it is very in line with how much they even sell it.
I looked it up.
At their tap room.
Everything it looks like is
Yeah.
that was accurate. After you told me that last week.
Can I interject with that?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead, Matt.
Well, I say, we said we had some other barley wines that've been good. This one, the price factor, is that gonna
So
skew?
I
scores
would
on
definitely
your side?
buy Westbound and Down before I bought this,
just because of cost of entry.
because when I've looked up the Westbound Double Louis, the Double Barrel Louis, it's like $20 a bottle typically, while this was $50 for the can.
Yeah.
So I personally, being a Books and Brews broke ass employee, I'm gonna buy the Westbound and Down. But flavor wise, I'm a little disappointed now that I gave Westbound a 4.5. Not because it didn't deserve it last week. It absolutely, I thought it did. We gave it a 4.25 as a group.
Yeah.
But this is so good that there's not a lot of wiggle room after that.
Well,
Now, granted, that's why we don't do comparisons and we do
Yeah.
everything based on the beer you're drinking at the time. But when you look at it, you're like, oh, fuck.
That was a really good one, though.
Oh, it
that
was.
was really good.
Yeah, I'm not upset with my score at all.
Right.
It's more just, fuck, what do I get? Like, how do I?
Right.
It's one of those where the untapped score really sucks because you don't have quite as much wiggle room because you don't have, like, 0.1 increments. Which, by the way, I will say what our score system
Yeah.
is again, just real
Do
quick,
that.
because I forgot last week and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, hey, I've been on top this week so
Yeah,
far.
we've been very good.
You can definitely tell I'm in a better
I'm proud
mood.
of, yeah, I'm proud of our start today.
You can always tell the mood Tyler's in before the first beer. Anyway, our score is the untapped system. It is between 0 and 5 in 0.25 increments. 3 is a perfectly average beverage. Going above that, above average, yada, 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 you get to 4. That is, okay, I'm going to start seeking it out. Now, we have kind of done a slight addendum to that, just a hair recently. If it's a beer that maybe we don't typically seek out, like, say, for instance, Matt's not a huge sour guy, but Matt even had one recently and he's like, okay, I'm not going to go buy these normally, but if I was going to buy this style, this is the one I'd like. So we kind of are given a little more wiggle room there to be fair to the beer.
I think it's a good. I think
That's
a
fair to
fair
the
one.
style.
Yeah. 4 and higher, yada, 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 you're getting a way above average. At that point, you hit 5, which John and I have never given us 5. That is, holy fuck, it's God's nectar. Going the opposite direction, under 3 is below average. You hit 2, you're like, this isn't a great beer. Heading even farther, it's like, this kind of sucks. Hit 1, and it's, I would rather drink water. To get me to say I would rather drink water, you have to be the best IPA in Alabama.
And
Or platform seltzer.
oh
Or
my god.
I don't think one episode has gone by without a name drop on Alabama's best IPA.
Well,
Hey, marketing's marketing.
Yeah.
Even if it's bad,
It's
people are
yeah.
gonna buy it.
All you
do
to
is
see
help
how
it
bad
out.
it is.
I say
Lord.
now it's going to become a
no,
novelty
if we
beer.
actually could remember the name of the best IPA in Alabama, although I think it was just like IPA or some bullshit like that.
right.
I thought that was the name. It's not. It wasn't just the name. The best
No,
IPA.
that was like a little print thing on the side of the can.
Little Mickey's and Little King show.
Oh,
Who feels like throwing up tonight?
At least they're small. Little King is like an 8-ounce bottle.
That's not where I was going with that, bud. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll start off our scoring on this one.
I might need you to go first.
I figured you would, which is why I'm being nice. I don't know if it's a 4.75, but I know it should be higher than the one that we had last week. Which again, we don't do comparisons, but I'm just like the flavor profile to me. But I'm gonna stick with a 4.5 score. I think it's only like a 4.6, and so it's closer to the 4.5 than the 4.75.
Fair.
So I'm gonna go with a 4.5.
Pete.
So as the bourbon guy, man, this is a great segue from your stouts, from bourbon. It's somewhere in between. Flavor goodness, lots of booze. I'm gonna go.
We're definitely
I'm gonna go 4.75.
4.75.
There is
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. You gotta get your calculator out. Just
That's
No,
my
I
highest
think we're
one.
good. I know where we're at. I had the same conundrum as Tyler.
my first sip was almost my first tempted 5. The more I drank it, the more I leveled off. Not because it dropped in score. I just was a little more realistic as I drank it. But
See, I went the other way.
really,
I jumped a ton.
There's so much flavor in that beer. It's
Oh,
so
it's so
complex.
good.
As it builds,
Yeah.
you need time, right? Like,
Yeah.
just to pull it in. I'm
why
like,
do you think we stalled as long as we did, and we took our time with this one? And
well, and because it was 17%.
Well, that's never stopped us
You-
before.
Well,
that
well, there was
hurt.
no bourbon tonight, so that's a
Yeah.
good.
Oh,
That's a
thank
good.
No, thank God.
We could revisit one of the old ones.
Yeah, we
that
do
I-
have a
They
couple.
aren't over their shit.
Yeah. No, we're good.
So I was very tempted. I don't know if I've ever personally given anything higher than a 4.5. I have thought about it on this one. I am also going to go 4.5. I think that is where it's at. It's a great beer. It's one of the best beers we've had on the show.
I think that will be the highest score.
Yeah, especially if we did like an assumption of averages. Like if we did averages like a full out to like 3 or 4.
I don't know if we
Digits.
have any other 4.5s.
Even
We have
when
2 other 4.5s.
Do we?
The Golden Drock was fucking
The most bullshit.
yeah. You two, I blame you too.
He
can't
He
say
got
that.
me. He got me in the wrong headspace.
Yep.
did they have coconut in it?
No.
No,
I
he's
just,
a
I know if
zero.
Paul Street Man's going to say something.
No, he's obsessed with that fucking.
We,
beer.
Oh,
we
it
have
went
2
the
that
other
were
way.
4.5.
No, I just think that it was
Huh?
So we are
deserved
third,
the score
fourth.
that it
Okay.
got. You guys in hindsight.
Oh,
are
did you
like,
pull it up real quick?
No, but I've looked at it.
So that is a Two Beerded Guys score of 4.5, but I will say it's definitely ahead of the Golden Drock.
Yeah, this is, even though we have 3 beers of 4.5, this is the best beer we've had.
I think that's the first time I've ever scored over 4.
No, you did
We did
Did
the
I?
cream.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Okay.
Matt.
Yeah.
If your
I
score
think
counted,
that's good.
if your score counted, what would it be?
I kind of echoing you guys. Like I was like, oh, this is really damn good. Initial sip, initial thought was like, could this be the 5? And then reality kind of came crashing in. Like if you have a 5, that's your perfect beer. Like that's the best thing you've ever had in your mouth. Like how are you gonna have other ones that compare to that?
Now though,
Which
the
my
simple fact that it's gotten consideration for a 5
oh yeah.
speaks
Part of it is,
And
and
it wasn't
again,
from a guest.
we
No.
don't do comparisons, but for me, I am the barley wine guy. This is my favorite style.
Cafe Death was 4.5.
So, that was a worthwhile one.
Yeah.
But for me, I have had at least there's one barley wine off the top of my head that I know of that I do like better. So I'm not going to give this a 5 when there's at least one above it. For me to ever give a 5 on this show, it's going to have to be what I consider at the time to be the best of its style.
You don't want to drink anything else.
Yeah. Basically, if you go, you can choose any beer of this style in the world. Which one? I want my 5, especially for this show. Now, if you get on my personal account, my scores are real weird.
I've got a couple 5s on my personal, but
Oh, my personal has a shit ton, but that's for a whole lot of other reasons.
yeah.
But for me to do a 5 on this show, it would have to be the one where I go, you give me the choice of any beer in the world of this style, and I'm going to go, that every fucking time.
Yep.
I'm ruined. You guys popped my cherry with it, and it's the best one I've ever had. Now,
He got that good on the first time,
Yeah.
and you don't want nothing else.
but thank you. I'm done.
Now I would say a little further though, like since I was like, hey, crash back from reality, like 5's probably not the way we're gonna go. Then I was like, all right, is it a 4.75? And what part of why I asked Tyler about price was like, well, it's really good.
The price is part of the
It's a
reason.
little bit of a hindrance because at $50, that's a high cost of entry for it. It's delicious, but that knocked it down a little bit to me. Whereas it's a solid 4.5. It would have been a 4.5 and change, but not a 4.75, I think. So the 4.5, I'm kind of echoing Tyler's thought.
I think it would have went from a 4.6, like if we were doing it in 0.1s, to like a 4.7, which would have bumped it to the 4.75 if it wasn't for its fucking $50
Yeah.
game.
It's a little
So,
steep.
only you can decide if it's worth the top dollar price tag that it carries, but it's worth drinking.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah,
worth
that
drinking.
was
If
very,
it
very
comes
good.
up, give it thought.
If your
and consider
buddy
it.
goes, I'll buy it if you'll, or I'll split this
Yeah,
with
if you
you.
gotta split it.
Hey,
100%.
if somebody says I'll split it with you, it is 100% buy.
Definitely
Oh,
go
yeah.
for it.
Well, if you split it, it's still like drinking 3 beers.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you
Eight ounces of
so-
17%. Fuck yeah.
You're paying in a brewery. Well,
6, 12, $18 for 3 standards.
yeah.
So, I mean, $25 to try
That
something
checks
like
out,
this.
yeah.
If you have someone to split it with you, it's absolutely worth it.
Well, and especially if you're doing something with a group of guys, not just like a buddy. You're like, hey, we're
I'll
we're
put you in 10.
all going to get 4 ounces. We're going to have a little fun, and here we are.
And 4 ounces are going to get you buzzed.
But the bad thing is if you get too many people in on it, then you're not going to have as much as you would like.
Then you just buy a second.
Because I do feel like I could have gone for a little bit more of the
Oh, yeah,
can.
just
Like,
a little bit
yeah,
more.
I'd say 4 is the tops of what you're going to split that can at and then not be mad.
Well, the problem is if you have more, this show turns to shit real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! It's normal episode.
Right?
And
Let us
real
know.
quick, too,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, because we got some comments I had a chance to really throw in.
Ooh, perfect.
Brett, obviously being the
God damn it.
sharp-eyed gentleman that he is, I'm sure a handsome fellow as well.
He's ugly as sin.
He's like, Tyler found his handy-dandy notebook.
He just Blue's Clues referenced that bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know if he's
Oh,
like,
he did.
that dead on,
His oldest son used to be
or if
obsessed
you, like,
with Blue's Clues.
or if you complain to him that I can't find my fucking notebook, but the notebook has been found. Let the record show.
No, he just watches the show too damn much, which I appreciate.
No,
but
it's not
damn.
too much if you watch it.
Hecubus posted. Liz says, "Hello, my spicy little chicken wang."
That'd be you.
And then
Fuck
Dale,
you, Liv.
Dale Litton says, "Oh God, I leave and I still
Hold
have to
on,
hear
what the
you."
fuck time?
But then he also
Hey,
says,
Dale, you're at work.
Then he also says, "Books and brews, broke ass employee. I was summoned."
Hey, Dale, it's 7:30. We're not closing. You're on the clock.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
It's Rona time. No one's busy.
There's no curfew tonight.
Oh, that's true. No more curfews in Indiana. So says the governor.
Oh, there will be a curfew next weekend. I
Yeah,
guarantee it.
the mayor runs that in Indianapolis,
Yeah,
though.
the
So
mayor has proven he
Whatever.
runs that
he
shit.
doesn't care what the governor says because he is so smart. We
Our
gotta
ne-
get off that.
Our next, what do you think I immediately?
Any other comments?
That kind of catches us up for now.
Our next beer. Do you like how I immediately had our next beer? The Beauty School Dropout Amber Ale by the Guardian Brewing Company
Muncie.
in Muncie. This beer is named after our brewery's first location in a building that was once housed a beauty school. Generous additions of caramel and crystal malts give it a solid body with toasty flavors, coupled with medium hop additions that balance well with the malt forward flavor profile. Even though this one didn't make it all the way through school, it is still a beautiful ale. They really could have used a different color.
Yeah, that's really hard to read.
Well, it's beauty
Use
school,
pink
pink
and
and purple.
Yeah, but give me a little, either darken this or lighten this a little more.
Outline it with white.
Yeah.
Something.
My ass
I
could,
like that. Okay.
but yeah, no, I love it. It even has like
I-
scissors and a comb and
comb?
shit. Yeah.
Now, I will say, when you read the can name itself,
Yeah.
it seems very mean. Like beauty school dropout.
Yeah,
What,
there
what
was
are you doing
there's
now?
several comments and
But-
jokes I wanted to make.
Yeah,
Well,
and then you're
welcome
like-
to Muncie.
And
It's
then you're like,
Greece.
oh,
I mean,
you
come
read
on.
it, and you're like, oh, that's really cool. Why it's named that way.
Well, what's funny is they could have named this beer after anything, because that building where they started
It's everything.
has been like 8 billion things.
Also true.
For instance, it was a meat packing plant when it first opened. Like that building.
Yep.
We're not. It's
That-
hour 2. We'll come back to these jokes.
Yeah, we'll leave that one on the table.
Yeah.
There's no reason to rotate on this one, Matt.
All right. Also, Dale says he can leave, but if you want to lose a viewer,
Got us. He's
Oh,
got leverage.
he-
He's got leverage.
Hashtag Dale won with this argument.
that was well played, sir. I appreciate your gangster.
Hashtag right up. That'd be the funniest thing ever to write him up for. It really would.
Watching the boss's show.
Writing up for watching my show. Thanks for your support. Get back to work.
I would straight up put that in it too if I was to do it. It'd straight up be like, "Thanks for the support."
P.S. Thanks for
I'd
your
love for that.
support. Oh shit.
Like, this one doesn't mean anything, but it's for fun.
Can I say a little irony, like on the beer we're drinking now? Wasn't last week we were talking about Greece, anyways? Like,
Yeah, we did bring up Grease last week. We brought up a lot of movies last week.
Very true. We were talking a bunch
Which
about that.
next week is Charles, correct?
Yeah, Charles Bain.
So next week is Charles Baines, the once GM of Books and Brews, the once or current manager of Taxman Cityway. I can't remember. I haven't asked him in a while. And with all the Corona shit, who the fuck knows?
He's a great dude. He's
Yeah.
one of my like
he's a guitar,
wonderful guys.
he's a
just neat.
he's a guitar guy, a movie guy, you name it. And he actually texted me yesterday. He's like, "What are we going to talk about on the show?" And I'm like, "We don't think that far."
You're like, have you watched any of the shows?
well, I
It's
just go,
all
Charles,
fly by seat.
It's everything by the seat of our pants. So it's basically, we do our show, we drink beer, talk about the beer, and we talk about shit the guest likes.
So it's dirty jokes when I come on.
Yeah. Or
Wish we
food,
had been
or
there.
whiskey, or... but I'm like, and I go, so for you, like, maybe we'll get on a movie tangent, or maybe we'll get on a music tangent, or maybe we'll just joke around because we know each other well. And he's like, oh, I'm excited.
Or you can have some input on the industry. Right? Yeah.
Well, it legitimately just turned in, it went from, I think, a little nervous about what we would talk about to, oh, I don't even care anymore.
Yeah.
Did he expect like something professional out of you two, or what? I mean, he knows you better than that, right?
I've told him who's coming up in the next month and a half, so probably not when you think about who's going to be on this show.
I mean, we had the fuck it out the window story on episode 4.
Fuck it out the window. All right, so
you can always go to our Short Pours YouTube list and rewatch that Irish Pet Shop
it is
of
the
Horror.
Irish Pet Shop of Horrors.
Some say the best story ever told.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely up there. Although Grace did give me a gem today.
I know we were just talking about no repeats coming up soon, but
Grace is one. It's been she was week 4. So.
Yeah,
that's
she's
been
pretty
okay.
early.
All right. So anyway, though, back to the beer because we've tangent like crazy.
Yeah, we're already a half hour in. We had one beer.
Yeah.
It's like we really sold Pete's business for 5 minutes and then talked a whole bunch about that barley wine.
It's solid. I like a red and an amber, but I've had a lot better ambers, beers, and
Can I say that your strategy of having that beer first, in case we wanted to fully grasp its deliciousness, might have backfired a little bit on the beer
Because,
directly following it? Because I'm like, this tastes like
Well,
water.
in all fairness,
and poo. It's probably
Hey.
okay on its own merits, but it's not what I just drank.
in all fairness, I've had this beer before. Once.
I'm not.
It's
far
been
off.
a while, so I put it behind it on purpose.
All right, fair enough.
Unofficial palate cleanser.
Yeah, maybe it's a little.
It's working.
It's overly bitter for
an amber.
Some maltiness, but no sweetness from the malt.
The malt's a finish. You get a nice malt finish.
Yeah,
Is that I don't know?
kind of roasty with that malt. But
Tyler, you grew up on a farm. Like, did you ever hear of hillbilly bubblegum? Like, where you take like wheat.
Oh hell yeah!
Chew on that.
Hell yeah!
This kind of finishes like that to me. It reminds me of that.
he's trying.
That's not the first thing that comes to mind, but I see where you're coming from.
It's got that
Absolutely.
really like wheat.
Yep. Wheat.
Wheat.
Wait,
No, I absolutely can see where you're coming from on that.
So for all other one hillbilly watching the show,
Brett?
Brett's not a hillbilly.
No. Fair enough.
And I'm not really either, obviously, but we both grew up working on Grandpa's farm.
I'm going to stop you right there. If you know what hillbilly bubblegum is, yeah, you're
Alright,
a
that's
hillbilly.
fair. Well, that's what happens when you're out doing field work and Grandpa just grabs shit and goes, take a bite, basically. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Put it in your mouth. Let's go.
Yeah.
Grandpa hands you a thing of wheat and just goes, take a bite, and you're like,
thank goodness you
Grandpa would never fucking lie to me. This wouldn't be
You too,
dumb.
Mom.
Maybe.
Oh, I heard what you were saying. I just clearly ignored it. Pete, this beer, what do you think?
So, it does drink easy.
It does.
It's an easy drink. If you're at a party, somebody had it, you're not going to turn it down. And obviously, if the barley wine's there, you're going to pick it over that.
Unless you don't want to die 5 minutes later.
Well, it depends on whose party it is.
Barley
You're
wine.
like, I don't like this guy, but he's got expensive booze. I'm drinking it all.
So when are you having a party?
All right, so rating or...
I will say one more thing.
Taste
It's
the
the
notes.
closest to a lawnmower beer I've ever had from something that color. Because it drinks easy. I could have downed that damn can in no time at all.
If I'm cutting leaves in the fall, I get that. All right.
It's too roasty bitter.
It is.
I don't find it bitter at all.
I'm not gonna go.
But I said roasty bitter because I do think it's from the roast.
So I'm not gonna go mean. You want me to go ahead and just
Sure, go ahead. Go on.
I'm gonna throw out a 275.
John?
I'm gonna go with 225. It's
What a dick.
As he goes like 1.5.
As I go, 0.25. 0. It's a fucking zero.
It's not bad, but even like it's not. I like my ambers a little bit more malty sweet versus roasty bitter.
You don't like roasty bitter at all.
Yeah.
So that's why it's multi-sweet.
Yeah. So
He didn't. His preference statement was not incorrect.
It's gonna be a 2.5 from the Two Beerded Guys because my score is a 2.5.
okay.
I think it's slightly below that like average beer score, but I don't find it bad in any stretch of the imagination. And the drinkability factor and the fact that Guardian prices are pretty solid, which I never did say the ABV. I wonder if it's even on here.
I was going to ask that. I didn't remember hearing it.
Because it could change your.
I want to say it's only like a 5 something if I remember right.
I almost feel like
It's
batch
not on
to
here.
batch, there's probably batches that are better than this one.
Possibly, yeah.
Which
It's a small brewery. I
It
mean, that makes
happens
sense.
with every small brewery.
Yeah. It does.
But like I said, I'm gonna give it a 2.5 because it's a very drinkable beer. I could easily, if I wanted to have a party beer but not drink Coors Light or PBR that day, it would be an easy drinking craft beer for the party.
fair enough. Matt, what you got on it?
I
He
get
doesn't count.
consensus 2.5 be where I'd be. I mean, my votes would just be the same as the average anyways so far today. But yeah, I concur. It's not great. It's not bad. It's what it is. It's drinkable. I wouldn't look for it. It's okay.
All right, that's fair. Let's move on.
Now I'm looking forward to Super Mario Brothers
Super
here.
Mario Brothers.
I'm sad I didn't even notice that when I looked at the can earlier.
No, so
Yeah.
here's the thing: it's Super Mario Brothers, but it also could be Kirby Dream Land.
I think it's
He also could be stoned as a motherfucker.
So, but
I think
when
that's
you
part
go
of that.
around the other side,
Oh, right.
those are the hills from.
oh, that's straight up Mario right
Right,
here.
Yeah.
but the tree is
and the
Kirby Dream
clouds.
Land.
You know what? They're just ripping off everything Nintendo.
Yeah.
That's
They-
just how
they
you
were just
avoid
like-
a direct cease and desist.
Right.
Like, well, it's not just Mario.
You can't get us for a direct cease and desist. You could say we fucked over Nintendo as a whole.
Yeah, you gotta start diversifying more. You gotta get some like
Would be
Sonic the Hedgehog trees with Mario Hills.
so now you.
So Sega and Nintendo just...
that way they
Oh,
both
so you
gotta
get
come
screwed
at
by
ya.
two big companies. That's awesome.
That'd be like taking it at both ends. All right, you don't want that.
Spit roasted.
It's spit roasting. So you know what'd be
Not
really
in
cool?
Alabama spit roasted.
TP.
but-
So the guy that created that, he was thinking of Kirby and Mario Brothers. I wonder if there's like a few other things hidden in there from other video games.
Andy clearly was
Like-
high as a fucking
Like,
guy.
Yeah,
like
look
the
at him, he is-
acorn or
he is
the
one of
hops are supposed to be something from something else, or
That would be fun.
it would be interesting to see.
We
The
need to
clowns
have
look like mustaches, so
we need to have like a beer label designer on at some point
Yeah.
to talk about the different
There's
shit
the
they
Hitler.
sneak in.
That would be neat.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they're Easter eggs they hide in labels.
Oh.
oh,
Yeah.
now that's a hunt I want to go on.
All right, so anyways,
I'm sorry.
this is... Oh, no, don't apologize. It's a great conversation, but as Matt said earlier, we are very slow today, so we will at
Good
least...
son of a great episode.
Do-do-do-do.
This is Modest Brewing Company out of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Okay.
It is the Green Greens, double dry hopped New England IPA. I will say this: the Modest Brewing logo down here, it reminds me of the old Mountain West Conference logo.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I like
It
it.
just reminds me of the old NCAA Mountain West
It's a
Conference
trendy
logo.
logo.
It is brewed with only oat and wheat malts, double dry hopped with Sabro,
Bro, yeah.
Galaxy,
Ooh.
and Cryo Simcoe.
Okay.
I'm excited now. I heard Galaxy.
We also have
Simcoe sounds like
Galaxy in
the
our
future.
home brew.
Well, yeah, but
It's
when I
not
hear
carved yet.
Galaxy, I
Wait till it's
expect
carved
this.
up.
I
Yeah.
expect something.
Yeah. It's,
We all have what we think that Galaxy should taste like, right?
And Tyler, maybe we just made the lawnmower beer of New England's, okay?
it is. I think it's going to be easy drinking New England.
I'd be very okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so watch your tone over there.
So we are about 5 days into carving up our homebrew.
Speaking of homebrew.
and really, it should need at least 10 days. I'm carving it up at a slower pace because it's the same pressure PSI as just the beer in general.
Oh, we're
So if I turned it up, I mean, it would be. Beer would be so foamy.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so it'd be like pouring
I
pachanga.
had something in my throat
Right.
there, Tyler.
It'd be like pouring
I
pachanga.
said, a can.
Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Can.
Also, he says, speaking of coughs,
Here, we'll start here.
Dale says, it's always slow. With Tyler.
You ready? Hey, are you on here?
Yes.
While he's doing that,
digging his own grave.
we did blow our pachanga keg. So if there is a light lawnmower beer that you think we should get in place of our pachanga,
PBR.
give me ideas.
Keystone Light. It's cheap as shit.
You're not wrong.
I know.
PBR.
All right.
I think
Tastes better.
Keystone's probably still under $100 for a full keg.
Probably. I could get a PBR keg or Keystone keg for what, $40 maybe?
It's about all it's worth.
Yeah, Max might be cheaper than that.
Does this one not have the ABV on it either?
I'll have you know, Captain Sarcasm over there, that
That's a
I
weird
brought
finish.
Russell back over to the Keystone
grassy.
Light can.
It's green.
He's like,
did.
thanks to you, I am now enjoying also delicious Keystone
Okay.
Light.
It is a 7.3% beer, by the way. I finally found it.
Oh, nice.
Holy fuck, that wasn't easy to find.
Well, that's an Easter egg in its own. You wanted something. Hey, on the last can, you wanted something outlined in white. They hid that one.
No, that's not outline white. That's white.
It's a 7.3% ABV. So yeah, that's our. At least we know what the alcohol is on this one.
Yeah.
It's
It's
hazy.
easy.
It's very hazy. I will say this. It's like chewing grass at the aftertaste.
It is green, exactly like the can. It's grassy. It has a great nose, though.
Yeah.
It
You can
does.
smell the galaxy hops.
And the initial taste is fantastic.
It's the
actually kind
aftermath.
of reminds me of our home brew.
The initial,
I was kind of thinking that too. I'm like, well,
not
it's a-
not the finish.
Did
No.
somebody sneak it
No,
into a can?
If you had tasted it last week when I tried it, it is more similar because it was real grassy last week. It's
Because
calming
today
down.
the finish wasn't grassy at all. for
Yeah,
us.
it's calming down.
This is. Ooh.
Yeah.
I
So,
wonder-
I think it-
but neither one's got a really like strong,
So
pronounced flavor.
I think if it came out of the tap, had a little more carbonation, it would knock that grassy feel off the back end with
It
the
might.
carb.
It might.
Slap it off
Well,
the ass.
Yeah.
No, obviously
Slap
we
that grass
gotta
off
rate it
the
in
ass.
regards to how it is right
Tyler
now.
hates it.
Yeah, he's not a fan.
He looked like he ate a bug driving around a motorcycle. Oh, that was a big one.
Yeah. You got that lawnmower blast right in the face, didn't you?
This isn't gonna get a good score.
Really?
This is competing with the best IPA in Alabama.
Really?
This is not
No,
bad.
it's not that
No.
bad.
Well,
I
I've
don't
heard
think
is
it's
how
necessarily
bad it
bad.
is.
This is.
I think this is absolute garbage.
I love
Actually,
it.
no, that's not fair to most garbage. This is
I
trash.
actually I'm enjoying it.
I think Tyler's being a smidge over dramatic.
No, it's bad.
So I will say I love the nose on it, man. It smells
Yeah.
great.
It's the only redeeming quality to the fucking beer. Well, that and the can. It might get a better score than the best IPA in Alabama only because I think the can's cool, and even that's not
I'm gonna
guaranteed.
use calculator for this one because I can tell we're
Oh, no,
we're far apart.
Is my vote gonna count?
No,
You might have
Tyler's
to-
score doesn't count.
your vote never gets to supersede John Eyes.
It
No.
wouldn't be a super C, it'd be an
Rules.
average.
No,
You gotta throw the outliers out,
Yeah.
right?
no.
It'd be the balance and check.
Only if it's someone who throws a 5 on a fucking.
Oh my god.
I like the fourth party system over here, alright? If someone's getting a little too power hungry, I come in and kind of equal them out.
So
You always get voted out. What's it matter?
You just waste votes. Go away.
One vote never mattered.
gingerbread.
I love that. I can't get this.
Oh, wow.
Hold
So
on, you're gonna
it's-
need to move again.
So, John, what are your thoughts? Let's get this train moving.
All right, so aroma's great.
There we go.
It is a little bit grassy on that back end. It's
A
not-
little?
He's
Yeah,
so
no,
angry.
I know.
I don't know.
If I wanted lawn clippings in my fucking beer, I'll go outside and clip some.
John's the soapbox still in the garage? They're gonna need it.
Yeah. You know, It's not my favorite, but I would choose this over other hazies we've even had on the show.
God, it's fucking coating my tongue. It won't go away. I'm drinking gingerbread spice beer and I can't get it to go away.
I don't know if we're ready to. Anyway, let's rate it. I'm going to go 3.25.
What the absolute fuck?
I think it's above average IPA. Not that much above average, but
Pete,
I'm gonna say 2.75.
I like you better.
Can't pick favorites, Tyler.
Oh, you can. That's how the world works.
Tell that to dads with multiple kids.
You know what? They have a favorite. They just never say
Can you
it.
rinse my cup now?
Yeah.
Can you rinse? Hey, will you go rinse Tyler's mouth out?
There's definitely a joke there.
Yeah, oh, there is.
We're gonna leave it on the table also.
It's a 1.
mean,
I think legitimately they tried something. I'm not upset with what they tried. Galaxy hops are obviously
He's just let down.
it's my favorite hop. Whatever the fuck they did with the rest of it, it legitimately, I feel like if I was a fucking goat and went out back and just started eating grass, I might enjoy it better. I think the nose was great. Pete was right.
this is great.
And I think that's part of the problem with the beer, is the nose is great and the beer tastes like shit. And then it won't go away. It has coated my tongue.
So the name of the beer is Green Greens.
I know.
I just want to throw that out there.
Would you like to know why it was not in my Taver crate?
Because you hate video games?
I saw the can. I saw the name and went.
I bought it because of the label.
It was one of
Don't get me
these.
Wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad at it either. Like I think it's an okay beer.
I think it's hot garbage.
My glass back. You're so angry. I don't want you to drink it.
I
I
don't
don't want
even
your
notice.
anger. I don't want your anger to spill over on me.
What's the average?
2.25.
Thank God.
Funniest part about that, Pete, I come back from washing glasses and Brett Pittsford. Tyler's a little angry.
Thanks, Brett.
I can't wait until he tastes a really shitty beer.
I don't think we'll have one later tonight.
There should not
good.
be anything.
I know there's one that it is not because I've had it.
Right.
I brought it, so.
Yeah.
Pete's like, I cheated. There's one that's not that bad.
Sometimes it's hard to just sit on them for a while. I mean, I got a couple of those in my fridge. I was like,
That's what she said?
I was waiting,
Can
and
see
then
the can.
we didn't have it on the show, and then we didn't have the show the next week. I was like, fuck, I need to have this.
Well, to make you feel better, the one I brought, somebody posted on any beer snobs, and I went to the grocery store when they opened at 7 in the morning and bought them all out. Just to be a jerk.
So I also want just
Don't
a
fucking
comment.
care shit.
Just a comment. It was canned April 17th, and super hoppy beers typically have about a 3-month life. So it's about at the end of its life.
It should have died the day it was made.
Woo! Well,
That was miserable.
We all have our off days, Tyler. It's fine.
You're right, and they just had one. Coming from the guy whose palate changes all the time, we can't trust what you do.
No, that's exactly why you can trust what I do. Because I know. We all have an off day, Tyler.
Yours are every day.
That doesn't make it wrong.
You don't even have a palate.
Doesn't make it a wrong
You're throwing fucking darts at a wall half the time.
It's got mango, right? You guys taste mango? Is that what mango tastes like?
never had grass clippings, but I'm ready to go try it.
The beer I got today on Tabor, because it was something and passion fruit. It was peach and passion fruit. And like, there's this running theme on the show of like, what the fuck does passion fruit even taste like anyway? It's like, well, we know what peach tastes like, and if passion fruit's the other half, maybe we can figure this out. So I bought it just for that.
We need a beer that the only flavor
Is
in
passion
it is
fruit.
passion.
Nope. It seems like Pete's got his mind made up on this one already.
I trust that you did not buy the coconut porter from Hawaii.
That is a safe assumption, John.
All right, so the beer we are drinking is the Pax Verum out of La Pella, Indiana. Milkshake IPA. It's a pineapple tangerine. It's called Bitch Be Cool.
Bitch
and
Be
I
Cool.
can't wait to show you this label.
Pineapple tangerine.
Yep.
Yeah, so they have a base version, and then this is a variant that they did at the
It
last
has
minute.
it is a 7%,
Okay.
45 IBU. Unfiltered sediment may occur.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Contains lactose. Brewed and canned by Pax Verum.
I've got to say, for me, initially, like, on the nose,
Hey.
it's a little hot.
Can.
Yeah, I was waiting for you.
Just making sure.
It's a little, like, hoppier and pinier on the nose than I've come to expect from hazies and New Englands, personally.
I was gonna say skunky.
Yeah, it's not got much. It's not fruit forward at all.
A little bit dank, maybe.
Dank, I wouldn't say skunk.
Yeah.
I said skanky. Not
Oh, I
skunky.
thought you said skunky.
No, I love skanky things.
Skanky has a big spectrum, Pete.
I thought you said skunky. That's why I was confused.
Little bit of business. Pax Verum wants to know when we want to go have the Unsight.
I'll tell you after this beer.
That's going to affect the rating.
Because if it tastes like the last one, you don't get shit.
Yeah. So, next Unsight, probably at Pax Verum. We'll see.
Brett said, "Let me help with the anger. I like John's hat better." I'm going to switch cameras. Ah, it was too late. I missed the reaction. I should have waited. Damn it. Bad engineering skills.
So again, my brother's name is Brett. I'll tell you where the spare key to his house is. When they're home, when they're not. They just bought new furniture. Feel free to rob them.
John was trying to instigate an off-screen Matt fan off between Russell and Brett last week too.
Fan off?
Yeah. I want them to be arguing in the comments right now. Like, who's the bigger fan?
Russell just had a kid. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, this
And
is
he's watching from the maternity ward.
Only to hear Matt's voice.
Yes.
No,
That's
let's be honest.
pretty strong.
Hey, they're
Yes.
watching because Liv wants to see you.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I mean, 2 of the 3 of us are wanted by that couple. Tyler, where does that leave you?
His mom.
She doesn't.
Sherry.
Well,
Winnie Sherry.
no, hey, my only fan was Aaron, and she doesn't even watch anymore.
I think it's the only fan is my mom. Oh.
Not that far off.
I did post. I posted. And my mom goes, "Should I watch?" And I go, "No, you should."
Dude, when I sent out my
Thank you for being smart enough to ask.
Yeah.
I like that.
I throw out the invite to literally everyone I have on Facebook, except I unchecked my mom.
Oh, for the page.
So you
Yes.
sent out 3 invites. That's awesome.
I know. Exactly. I tried so hard to
Speaking
put
of
this
which,
on the page.
if you guys do follow our Facebook page, thank you. Please invite your friends to also like it. We're literally 3 away from 1,000.
Yeah, let's go.
And that's
Snap.
kind of driving me nuts that we've been 3 away for like a week. So
Facebook for
yeah,
sure.
send out invites for to your Facebook friends.
So you're saying I should like it?
You're a dick.
We're going back to Sam
You know I like
Also-
Bicker.
Also, we are on Twitter and we're gonna start using it more
Yeah,
for
we got some
like
plans for that.
live. We're planning on doing live tweeting of like shitty movies and TV shows. So I did the first episode of Space Force. Was our first time doing
Yep.
it, and it was more me going, "We never use Twitter, and I want to watch Space Force. Let's live
That was
tweet
a
this."
great idea.
And then we got really drunk last week and started to watch Dunkirk.
No, we watched Dunkirk.
I did not. That's why I'm saying started to
Whose fault is
watch.
that?
he kept waking us up with his snoring.
I live tweeted for a while and it passed the fuck out.
I was awake the entire time, and he just kept passing out and snoring.
Yeah. No, I said me.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I know who passed out.
We'll watch Fury tonight.
I will say that, like,
Yes!
the entire movie had like 10 spoken words. Like, if you're a fan of
I was-
dialogue,
I was-
don't watch Dunkirk.
It is not a Quentin Tarantino movie.
I love Dunkirk, but I was too drunk to watch a movie
that complex.
that
involved.
style, complex, no words. Like, I was too drunk for that shit. I'm trying to live tweet, and the live tweets were more focused on these two. But I just, especially his reaction, because he was so excited
love
to
that
watch
movie.
it.
I think John really nailed the whole description of the movie. Though. It was like, the movie is about a guy trying to take a shit. And a war is going on.
That poor guy.
That's the
My
movie.
favorite part is how mad Matt was the entire time about the guy still not getting to shit. Like, he's like,
I mean, I've had to shit and had to wait, like, you have to wait for a whole war to end? Jesus, man.
all right, let's go ahead and talk about this beer, because we are about at the end of hour 1. So we'll go ahead and do this beer.
We just know he took a shit when his ship got bombed or torpedoed.
Oh,
They don't show it, but we know.
we
that's
all
happened.
know that dude dropped a bomb as well.
Voluntary or it
Sorry, I had to
happened.
say it.
Pete,
Spoiler
why don't
alert,
you
by
talk
the way.
about the beer?
Yeah, please tell us.
So I do get that pineapple tangerine. It's
I do too, yeah.
so it's normally when they throw it on there, it's an afterthought. It's all there.
Yeah,
It's
and it's
really
balanced.
good.
Neither one's overpowering the other.
Yeah.
You get it more on the
I
on the taste than on the nose, which is backwards with some that we've had.
Yeah.
What's nice is you get the pineapple on the front end, the tangerine on the back.
Absolutely.
So you get a little both. They're not trying to fight for the stage. They each have their part. And
I prefer fighting like gladiator style.
I will say that well, when I when I it smelled skanky.
I forgot all about it.
Right?
So can we watch that tonight?
No, Fury.
I don't really care for the smell, like our
It's
grass.
the opposite of the lawnmower.
It doesn't have a great
Not
smell,
lawnmower
but
beer,
the
the
taste
lawnmower.
just blows that part away.
The lactic, it's not overly sweet at all. It's maybe slightly, everything's just balanced.
Oh, absolutely. I'm really happy with this beer. It doesn't shock me. The last hazy New England blah 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 that we had from Pax Verum was the Unclouded Judgment, and it was also fantastic.
Yeah.
Where's PAX out of?
Lapel.
Is that up north?
That is up
Barely.
Okay.
I didn't know.
So,
anything came good out of
yes.
Lapel.
north. Right.
That's awesome.
John, do you want to tell Pete about the water thing because he's a water guy?
Oh, and they don't even use reverse osmosis. They're like, we tested the waters and we like the water out of Lapel, so that's what we went with.
Well, that's what you brew with. I mean, as long as it's consistent water, right?
Yeah.
You develop your recipes for that water.
Yeah.
If you home brew with that water and then get a reverse osmosis and open,
Everything's going to be good.
yeah, it's all going to taste funny.
How about this, Pete?
Okay.
I had prior experience in the water world myself. Not the splash zone, no. But can you speak a little bit to like reverse osmosis and styles of beer? Like I know, like with coffee houses, and the same rules apply to stouts, where you want some sediment in there, so you have things for the ingredients to.
I just now got the
Yeah,
notification.
so when
Literally
you
just
do
now.
RO, it takes most of the minerals out. So a lot of times, like the water will attack your ingredients
Never.
because it is aggressive
never
in
be
nature.
there.
So having some of the calcium, magnesium, iron, the stuff that's natural, what monks brewed with way back in the day when they developed
Their own
brewing.
urine?
Your own urine. Urine.
We made
Monk
advancements.
urine beer, that's what I'm into. No, but
That's what
it changes the flavor, and honestly, they're doing something right because this is a good beer in my thought. And you see this with pizza places a lot. If New York style pizza place, they will tailor their water to meet the water quality in New York. If it's here in Indiana, if it's a true style,
So
they'll
they'll
do the
treat it
same
that way.
thing, and Chicago as well.
So they transport like Hudson water and
No, what they'll do is run a reverse osmosis and then put back in the same amount of magnesium, calcium, and iron that they have. Jackass.
You want what's funny, actually,
Science.
and we're getting really nerdy, so it's a good thing we're going to
Yeah.
take a break soon. But like this Beersmith app is a homebrew app, and it does let you actually choose like water profile, and it'll tell you, okay, this is what you need if you're going for New York's water profile or Portland's water profile or whatever.
type in lapel. No.
Look,
Anyway, so I will agree with Pete on this beer. We're going to switch back to beer because the hour is pretty much up. You definitely get that pineapple up front, tangerine at the end. It's very smooth, easy drinking. Again, like most New Englands, it's going to be more that introductory IPA. Not insulting it. It's more that if you have a friend who doesn't like IPAs,
because they're too bitter.
this is how you get them into it. But someone who likes IPAs will still enjoy this beer because it has a lot of the hop flavor, just not the hop bitter.
Tarantino fans will also appreciate it.
Yes, bitch. Be
Well,
cool.
yeah.
And
I'm so pissed I didn't bring. I got the bad motherfucker wallet, but I left it at home. It's
But
like the
I
perfect time to
am.
have it.
I'm very impressed with this beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, John, you get to go first and score first.
Okay.
So.
I feel like it's a delicious beer.
It also
I
gets a bump
can't-
because it's not the last motherfucker.
Right. I'm excited to try just the base version of this. We actually went variant version first, which is not what we normally do. But I was super excited to have this.
Bitch, be cool.
Yeah.
Is the
exactly.
standard one just bitch, and this is be cool?
Nope. The standard is bitch be cool. This is bitch be cool. Pineapple tangerine.
Ah,
Yeah. So, I'm going to give it a 3.5. I enjoy it. It's very tasty.
It gets a 0.25 increase from the fucking green greens. Anyways, Pete, go next.
I'm
That laugh, really? Man. I mean, that's the most Peter Griffin laugh I've ever heard out of you.
Oh, thank you. So I'm going to give it a 3.5 as well. I'm not a pineapple fan, and I like it in the beer. So
It's going to be one of my top choices of when we go up to PAX Rare. I'm assuming that you're okay with that because I know you said it depended on this beer.
Well, if it turned out as bad as the last fucking IPA we just had, trust me, I would have burned the place before we set foot in there.
I'm telling you, I didn't want to go. You probably twist my arm.
But no, I think it's a fantastic beer. I'm going to give it a 3.5 as well. I think it actually might be low, giving it a 3.5. Slightly unfair. I
was back and forth.
I think, and the main reason, and sorry, Pax Serum, I'm giving you a 3.5 is because I'm afraid that anything higher is more me going, fuck the last beer, which, I mean, but I want to grade it on the beer, and I think 3.5 is fair, even if it is just slightly shallow.
Yeah.
The mouthfeel was great. Very soft, very easy drinking.
Velvet on the tongue.
Yeah. Nah. That was the barley wine.
Carb level is pretty high on it, which it makes it not velvet on the tongue.
Nice little bubble feel.
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. I'm going to say 3.5 as well.
Matt, what you got even though it doesn't count?
Since mine doesn't count, I'll say between 3.25 and 3.5. Like, I think one's a little too low, one's a little too high.
He wonders why he doesn't count.
Well, since I don't count, it doesn't matter. That's why. If I could go between, I would go between. But since I don't factor in the average, I can say both.
Fair enough.
I love you, Matt. But that will be the end of hour number 1. As always, we will be coming back for an hour 2. We have 3 beers, probably 4, since somehow we caught up.
We did.
I have no real idea how that happened.
Well,
but
we had 2 beers, all you did was bitch.
We
through,
fucked you out the window.
anyway. No, thank you guys for watching as always. I am TVG_Ops Guy. With us today,
Ugly Pete.
behind the camera.
Oscar and Matt.
This is episode 21. We'll see you in a few minutes. Love you guys.
so.
I guess now.
Let's go.
That's like too late, bitches.
We're on.
Welcome back for hour number 2 of the Two Beerded Guys. With us today is
Ugly Pete.
I am TBG_Ops Guy.
What dog being Q?
Behind the camera, the one and only.
Oscar Matt.
Again, welcome back to hour 2 of our 21st episode, which means
Did you just
we're
like
legal.
try to half-ass hand sign that?
No, I just said 21st. Just
Okay.
2-1. I
2-1.
I used to sign when I worked with kids with autism, but I don't remember any of that now.
Bigger
What?
kids, it does kill brain cells.
Well, it's what happens when you're not actually like taught sign language. You just pick it up for what you need it. You lose it as soon as you're done using it. Is it true if you don't use it,
you lose it?
Pete, can you tell us?
It's getting close. I think that song "Detachable Penis." It's coming.
All right, so real quick, so we forgot to do this earlier,
We did,
yeah.
but it has been 36 days since my last beard accident.
And it's
It's
filling out.
It's actually starting to fill out finally, and it's starting to, because my nitty knot's so bad when it first starts growing.
What?
It's
Nitty knot.
Nitty
It's an
knot.
official term.
Is that a thing?
Curls
It's an
tightly.
official term.
Curls tightly. That now it's long enough that it's starting to finally actually look like a beard again. So, I'm happy.
Now
So
we're back to-
36 days. That's how long it takes for a beard to look like a beard. At least
No,
for Tyler.
well,
For some people.
It's
Thank
no, it's like if I
I'm
actually,
doing about 20.
if I actually like took better care of mine than I do, it probably would have looked better quicker. You know, just brushing it out, but I don't.
Which, Tyler, you're going to not get this, but I'm going to toss this
Usually.
up to you. If you wanted a good quality beard balm, where would you find one at?
Ooh, I mean, I'd easily would go with Sin Bin Beard Balm, which you can find on Two Beerded Guys Facebook page, our store, or our Two Beerded Guys website. Sin Bin has their Chadwick, who started the company, has actually been on our show before. He has one that is a hop infused beard balm. It's not available on the store yet. He's not even selling it yet, but it should be soon. COVID kind of put a little bit of a loophole in their plans on that one. Kind of like everybody's.
Yeah.
But there he does have his standard, which is a really nice beard balm, that is on our website and Facebook
For
store.
sale, right on our website.
So-
Good job.
I'm not drunk enough yet. If I'd had too much of that damn 17% earlier, maybe.
So
I
it's
wish
time for
I
that
had.
next beer then.
I wish I had.
But no, I'm still have my faculties about me. It is time for our next beer, which is the Abuse of Stout, Imperial Stout with honey, cocoa nibs, and vanilla, by Destination Unknown Brewing Company. I
Dubco?
actually remember what the fuck that was this time. I read
You
Dubco
did,
and I
actually,
remember.
yeah.
I'm really proud of myself.
This has got to be better than the strawberry donut IPA.
Ooh. Sorry.
It wasn't that bad, it just wasn't good.
Just wasn't what it
Yeah.
said.
It is. Oh damn!
False advertising.
It is 12%.
I thought it was really chunky too, wasn't it?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Shake it up then.
Thanks for playing.
Not
along.
suitable for kids under 13, guys.
Oh yeah, we didn't do.
YouTube, not made for kids.
Yeah, we've
Oh,
said that
it's
many
not.
times. At this point in time, we stopped caring.
You should have figured that out.
Yeah, if you've watched this show before, you absolutely should know that.
Especially if Ugly Pete's on it.
All right, so basically, at per usual, Dubco gave us nothing other than exactly what's in it. So
That's good though.
yeah, they give you
They
just
didn't
enough.
oversell it.
They at least tell you what's in it. So if you don't get that, you at least know what it's supposed to be. But they don't oversell it to the point where you're expecting.
Here's what I find interesting about this, and what probably makes it unique, why I'm excited for it. It's not a lactose milk stout.
Nope.
It's honey. The honey is their sweetener.
Yeah, when he said that, I'm a little curious and slightly apprehensive.
Oh, I'm excited.
Honey's.
I like the label, by the way.
I
Yeah.
can see the
Oh, I
honey.
can't wait! I
Anything
can't wait
on
to
the
show
left
that
hand?
off. Yeah.
This is either going to work really well or backfire on him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't see there being a lot of room for middle ground.
I
on this.
applaud the choice. I applaud
You
trying.
know what, Matt?
The
You
brain
normally get shafted.
It's like Spanx. It could go really well,
Matt,
or it destroys a butt.
Matt, our only stout today, I was nice and gave you a little extra.
Much appreciated, Tyler.
Here is the can for the can cam. I am going to do a rotation here, so I'll let it pause for a second. And then...
The cocoa nibs. Huh.
It does smell really, really good.
But that is the gorgeous can by Dubco.
It's got that rich chocolatiness. And
Ooh, it
does
has
have
a rich smell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to know if it's extract or
heightened a
actual
little bit by
vanilla
the
bean.
sweetness of the honey.
Not a lot of viscosity to it.
Viscosity. Show term.
No,
Looks like
even
more head than a stout.
even John says viscosity usually.
Huh.
So I think the vanilla might be relatively real,
Yeah.
but there's something else that isn't. It's not ruining the flavor, but there's something there.
No, it's the honey.
Is it throwing it off? Did they use the honey from the bear? Not real honey. Damn it.
They straight up use the goddamn little
And I'm not
squirt
saying that
bottle.
it's fake. I'm saying the weird flavor that
Is the honey.
is the honey.
I'm getting a chemical. I get the difference between the lactose and the honey. Hold on.
Is that chemical flavor the cocoa nibs? You're getting a little bit of extra cocoa, and it gives that.
That's why I said hold on before you
Yeah.
start talking, because the second sip, I'd already
Yeah,
started shutting myself up, and then it was...
I thought this is a multi-sip before you...
The very first
Start
sip
taking a
gave
whole
me
lot.
a chemical taste, and the more I've tasted, it's like, no, that's not chemical.
Yeah.
That's tasty.
I'm liking this.
I like the honey more than lactose.
On a side note, boys, Jared Shaw's on here. Says, what's the fisheye lens y'all using?
Holy
Changing
shit.
cameras? Love it. Good lighting on the can, too. Well, damn, boys. Nice job.
So Jared is actually going to be on our show.
Nice.
He is the creator of Lime Lighting. Follow him on YouTube. Basically what he does is he interviews and over beer and / games, talks to different game designers or people in the board game industry. And basically he sits there and hangs out with them and drinks beer, talks, does interviews, but they play a game while they're doing it. So, for instance, he's talked to people who've designed games and they've played their games while talking about it / just shooting the shit. Tom Schreiber, who's been on our show, has been on Lime Lighting because he's big in the indie game scene. He's he one of the founders of KGI. Jared's he knows a lot more about production quality than we do. He's actually who I text when I'm like, for instance, I'm buying new lighting, so today, hopefully, we'll probably have one more show with this lighting, and then we'll have the new lights.
Nice.
But Jared's who I got a hold of. I immediately went, hey, I'm looking at lights right now. I need this budget. Help me find the best.
We are always evolving. So the can cam, the main cam, the voyeur cam, all kind of new. Except the main cam, of course. But we're just always trying different things, but we're it's a slow process.
Yeah. So, but Jared's who I get a hold of. He's made his is professionally looking now already,
Nice.
And so for me, it's more like, so I have this idea and this budget.
Right.
And Jared's like, oh no, I bought shit at that budget because that's where I was at this point in time. This is what you need. So,
Well,
no,
if-
I'm excited to have him on the show.
If he ever needs a Jack Hole to come on a show with him and drink beer and play games, I'm that guy.
Cross-show relationship
Yeah.
building. That's what we're about
He's
here.
sitting here going, I mean, if I get to drink more beer and I get to play board games.
I think I could sponsor a game. I think I could buy some board games.
So far right now, he's looking more into the true board game industry people, but I'll make sure he knows. I'll make sure he knows.
Well, so
Wait, if he
Everything
needs
might
like an
know.
Well,
off-screen
Casey
mat,
has it tuned off
if he
already.
needs an off-screen mat,
Well, no. So some updates here. He says that's a Star Wars X-Wing playmat, like Sharp Eye. He loves it so much. You gotta make him blush, Tyler. And he said done after Ugly Beaver talk. So I think you might have got yourself a free pass there, Pete. He says more the merrier.
Perfect.
You'd like it too. He's a good dude. So, one of my best friends. So,
So he like Pete. Pete's an acquired taste.
yeah, no, Jared's kind of a sarcastic ass at times. So yes, he'll
oh,
like
we
Pete.
get along really
Yeah,
well.
he'll like Pete.
I'm liking him already.
Did we just become best friends? Yup.
But this abusive stout, we need to get back to it because it is tasty
It's
as
good.
hell,
It's
and
a-
I want to
it's a
make
very
sure
good-
we give it its due diligence.
All right. So are you guys liking the honey, or are you finding it
I'm
weird?
liking it. I think at first it threw me off a little bit, along with the cocoa a little bit, but this is I'm a fan. It does leave a little bit of a film on the tongue, but
Not a bad way.
that's what I'm saying. It's not a bad way. It's not one of those where you're sitting there wanting to get rid of it. It's more like, well, that's different.
Matt, you ask, and I wonder where you're at on it because it does throw me off a little bit. It is such a different way to approach this kind of sweet milk, this sweet chocolate stout.
That's where I'm exactly because I love stouts. Milk stouts are one of my favorite.
Yeah.
And this is a different approach, so I don't know if it's just different or if I'm not as much a fan. I don't really know where I'm at with it.
I think where I'm at is I enjoy it.
I appreciate the fact that it's something different.
I do, but I think I prefer the lactose instead of the honey.
I kind of feel like I might as well, and that's why I wondered if it was just me.
I think I'm enjoying this.
It's fine.
Yeah, I don't think there's a wrong answer. I'm just kind of curious.
I'm not saying it's bad.
The only guy that's, yeah, it's not
It's
bad.
not going to get a bad grade.
No, it's just different, and I don't know if I like the different or not myself.
I think
I wouldn't rank it over the Coles, but
I think this is one of those beers that if he hadn't read the can and you tried it first, and then you're like honey instead of lactose, you're like, oh, okay, that's what that is, and it might change because you went in thinking one thing.
I'm a huge fan of the honey. I
am
like
too.
the difference. I think it brings more to the table than lactose does. I think
It's more
lactose is
complex.
such a cheap way to do it.
I get that.
And I'm not talking cost. I actually don't know what it costs.
Well,
But,
the honey is a lot more expensive.
yeah,
than
but
lactose.
I'm just talking the complexity of it. It's so much more like I'm bringing something to the table instead of just like it. Lactose compared to honey to me is the artificial sweetener versus the cane sugar.
Sure.
Like that's
I like it. So
I like it too. It's just.
I'm not saying it's bad or I dislike. It's just I don't know that I like it more
It's
than a
different.
standard milk stout.
It's just different.
Yeah.
I think it's my turn to go first again.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it. It's tough because I like the honey more, but there's certain aspects of it that still. But I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5. I'm gonna go 3.5. What about you, John?
I'm 3.5 as well. Like I said, if it were lactose,
I almost gave it a
if it was
3.7.
traditional, if it was lactose, it might even get a higher score. But I'm not gonna dock it either. It's just different. I think it's worthwhile
Thank
trying. I think it's good. I'm gonna go 3.5.
Took everything I had not to give it a 3.75, and I really probably should have. I think that's probably the fairer score, but I already said what I said, and I'm gonna stick with it.
and I'm gonna go 3.75. I do like it. It's almost one of those I'm gonna go out and seek that right time of year.
So it's okay. So if it were the time of year, it was stout season. You're like, I remember that on Two Beerded Guys. I really should try to find some more.
Definitely. So I'm not a big milk stout guy. So with the difference with the honey, I love.
Yeah.
It throws in something different, and everybody's had that milk stout with the vanilla, the cocoa bean, and the lactose, right? They did it with honey, and it's I've got something different now.
It brings
And
a
it went
lot
right.
different to the table.
Now, we've had several beers from Destination Unknown, Dubco, and it does seem like they try to push the envelope a little bit with a few different things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, you can't ride the
Strawberry
razor's edge.
Strawberry
without cutting
donut,
yourself.
strawberry donut IPA. So I do like.
Turn your mic towards you a little more.
Okay, but I do like.
Now it's in the frame.
They're going to continue to. I'm going to continue to look for some of their beers when they're available.
This is kind of
Oh,
funny.
now we're getting a lot of John.
Yeah,
We're gonna hold
Oh
on.
my goodness, that's so much John.
so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, my ear just blew up with John.
So,
No, I got a text from Jared
nice.
saying he's loving the camera. He has some mic ideas that are cheap to
I almost bought a conference mic
to help encourage the sound. He said it works perfectly for literally the guest this way right now.
Nice.
He said you were the one that was a little off, and
Okay.
that's why I said to adjust. So.
Okay, but
But evidently, while you flipped, you had
it,
quiet John, John!
nice.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
So Dubco, I would look for Dubco again. They have not turned me off like 903.
Yeah, now it's dead to me.
Yeah.
Oh, 903 I'll never buy again. It's that simple.
And I like that label.
Yeah, so cool.
Lady Justice on there.
Yeah, that beer was
With the
fantastic.
hops. in
Oh,
the
yeah.
vein.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I love the subtleness of the hops.
Yeah, it's hidden in there.
Yep. That'll make the beer or the Keyser.
The sugar was slightly hot.
It should have been honey,
I
but
like
we'll
that
go
though.
with.
The beer.
But I
It
do
should have
think-
been the bear.
It's just little bear
The honey
bottle.
bear. That's awesome.
The cheap ass honey bear bottle.
Can't use that.
That'd be amazing.
Cease and desist.
Just put a honeycomb in it.
Have you smoked honeycomb?
I haven't yet. I mean, I was
Oh,
in college.
wait,
I
you mean
smoked
on
a
the
lot of
smoke?
things,
And I
but-
was like, that doesn't fit in the. Oh.
No, but I haven't smoked. I haven't smoked.
Pete also does
honeycomb.
food stuff, so.
Yeah.
We've
so-
talked about that a
But
lot.
we did. I did cold smoke some cheese.
Ooh.
It's really hard to do.
Cold
I
smoking,
ruined
advertise
the
cold
batch.
smoking, oh, yeah.
I ruined the
I said
batch
cold
because it got
smoking
too
sounds
hot and it all
difficult.
went.
It all melted.
It all melted. But the next batch was really good. It's literally 10 times better than anything smoked you get in a store.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because it's super strong. It's fresh. You pull it out and it's like, all right, you let it chill again, chop it, and you're like, oh. Smoked Gouda
Oh.
is
As long
awesome
as-
in the store. It is mind blowing.
And
when
cold
you do.
smoking is what, 60 degrees, 70 degrees?
Yeah, and it's
Basically,
it's hard to
don't
do.
melt the fucking cheese.
Yeah.
And keep it in there long enough as smoke flavor, and it doesn't spoil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the goal.
That is the goal.
Can I
So-
ask, since I was doing the dish bitchery, what was the score on the
3-5 ended up.
Okay.
Pete was a 3.75. John and I both ended up 3.5.
Where would you been, Matt?
I probably would say, I don't know, I'm not gonna blame it on like the honey thing, but is either the honey or maybe like the amount of chocolate they use, but something about it was like the texture was off a little bit for me. Like to take Tyler's mouthfeel, like something seemed a little bit off, like drinking it. And I don't know if
that's
it was
too
the
light.
honey or what it was, but something wasn't.
Things
It
have
just
some
was a
weight
little
to it,
off
too.
kilter. It was good. I applaud them trying it. I'm not sad that it's not bad.
Face of that motherfucker.
Just something about it wasn't quite what I was expecting out of it.
That's
I don't
fair.
know. Still good, solid beer. Would recommend trying it. It's worth a while.
Yeah.
Applaud the adventure of trying something new with it. Just a little different, a little off for me.
We got a new follower on
Woo!
Instagram. The Strong Texas Beard, and it's spelled Beerd.
Nice.
He owes us a
Cease and
nickel.
desist.
Yeah.
But it's the Strong Texas Beard.
We gotta see when that guy starts.
Hey, I also want to come back. You mentioned earlier, like, hey, follow us, whatever, on Facebook, especially because we're like 3 away.
Oh, so close.
Even if you follow us on one, follow us on the others too.
Please.
Multiple reasons. Number one is just supporting, and the higher numbers that we have on every platform means more opportunities for us to potentially be like influencers and shit like that.
Go ahead, continue.
Okay. Number two, we actually do like we purposely try to do different content on the different social medias. So there are reasons to follow us on all the various platforms except maybe Twitch, but whatever. Twitch only need 50.
Well,
we need 30 more.
We
people
also
there.
have plans for Twitch in the future.
Yeah. Twitch is a long term.
I
Now,
was like waiting for some Mr. Smithers' hands. We have plans.
but no, seriously, because one thing is, for instance, my personal page. Anybody that follows us recently, especially on Facebook, has noticed I've posted some discount codes for a couple different companies. Tabor, just because everyone gets one, and fuck, I mean, we spend so much damn money there.
So much.
We would
$300.
we would love for you to.
On one box.
Yeah, we would
Can I
love
say
for
that,
you.
like, I love Tabor, but it's like the freemium games that you download on your phone. It's like, hey, the game is free. Download it. Oh, it's $1 here. It's $1 there. A month later, you've dumped a shit ton of money.
We would love for you to.
So sign up. Use our discount code.
Yeah, use our code.
Just spend with caution.
Matt,
Yeah.
shut the fuck up. We would love for you guys to use that code. But for instance, I got asked to do be an ambassador for a company called Beer Throne, and they have a lot of cool like merch, like shirts and stuff. But they actually also do beer delivery. They actually have like a subscription box kind of thing, yada yada yada. But I can, with my code, you get 15% off. So that's something, because how much my personal page has taken off, plus they saw that I do Two Beerded Guys thing, they're like, hey, you do both of these things, like, we think this is cool. So follow us on all platforms, because the more you do that, we're trying to get Tabor to work with us on something else. We're trying to get Uber to work with us on discount codes. We're trying to get, and the more followers we have, the more traffic we have, the more likes we have, the more numbers we have, the easier it is for us to talk to these companies into being, helping and working with us,
Leverage.
that we'll be able to give you guys discounts. Yeah. So even if, for instance, my brother, who I think does follow us on everything, but if there's one of the ones we've said that you don't follow, Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, I got them all, didn't I?
We're everywhere.
Or go to our website. Hell, just go to our website. That helps traffic.
Bumble? Are we on Bumble?
No, we're not on Bumble. You're on Grindr though, right? But that's just the Mudhog B&Q, right?
Yeah.
But no, follow us, like us.
The man likes his meat.
All that kind of...
I like to smoke it.
Only sausages.
Smoke it.
It absolutely helps us bring discounts to you guys and grows our company. So, we love you guys.
Everybody
Help us
wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15% off if you go to Beer Thrones and use TBG_OpsGuy as your coupon code.
I can't wait until we get like the Valentine fruit bouquet discount code.
Nice.
Yeah, because we're back.
Because
Hey, they named our discount code on Beer Thrones after me. I mean, that's pretty fucking cool. Just saying.
That's pretty cool.
and it's easy to track.
It is.
Like, hey, ooh, that jackhole gave it out to a bunch of people. We love it.
God damn it.
We can like that jackhole. Before he was just jackhole. Now we like him.
Well, Motherhood's going to get some seasoning discounts, so he's going to work on his Komodo Joe.
I did get some free barbecue sauce from South's.
Yeah, you did.
And I just tagged Slap You Mama. And they were responding, so I'm working it.
Just to give you a little heads up, we are in the 40% mark on where we're at with my seasoning company.
Oh, nice.
So we were talking
Talked
about
that the other day.
Yeah. On the website, so it's going to the chili seasoning.
Let's go.
Our barbecue rub seasoning.
Yeah, you asked me about that, 2 weeks ago you brought it up? And I told you, fuck yeah, we'll sell it for you.
Yeah, and then we have a homemade ranch seasoning.
Ooh.
That...
Buttermilk
ranch.
Ah, that's the best.
Buttermilk.
Yeah.
No.
Why is it about that?
And we got and our taco seasoning. So we're starting off with 5.
Buttermilk taco.
Yeah.
And maybe this will be under the
By the way, we've gone through a lot of art concepts. Obviously, my mind cannot be used for art that is sold on things because the taco seasoning went very dark quickly.
Yeah, I can
imagine.
Who wants a taco?
And the buttermilk ranch one went dark as well. The pork rub one didn't go as dark.
Hell no.
But
it's white meat.
Because once you go dark, you really can't go back.
We started off with that one and
it is a light meat.
We were starting off with that one and we were drinking, so that one was dirty, but not near as dirty as we got towards the end.
Well, now we
I'm
hit this
excited.
point.
I'm really excited.
Brett said, "Did I hear smoked meat and mouthfeel?"
Yes.
Yeah. Welcome.
All right, so I have to throw out the color.
Beautiful.
She's pretty.
Tasty.
Go ahead and go to Can Cam real quick.
The color looks like a tangerine was squeezed the shit out of.
Oh my god, the smell.
Ooh.
So all right, so this is the
smells syrupy.
This is the pineapple upside down memes cake by Windmill Brewing Company. It is a pineapple upside down cake inspired Berliner Weiss with pineapples, cherries, and lactose. Off the nose, I can tell you right now, even without it next to me, it smells like a fucking pineapple upside down cake.
Yeah.
Which is one of my all-time favorite desserts.
It sounds like a pineapple upside down cake and a cheesecake had a baby.
There's nothing else on the can other than what I've read, and the Surgeon General's warning, obviously.
We need to put the.
I'm switching them. I'm switching them.
Okay, just make sure.
Lifetime switch. Boom.
By the way, the pineapple upside down cake representation on there is really well.
Keep going. We need the motorized thing.
We need more.
The motorized Lazy Susan. That bitch.
Oh, that was unnecessary.
Susan's old.
What's
Damn,
the
good lighting on the
alcohol
beer
content on
close
this
up. Love it. Thanks, Jared. We appreciate
God
you.
damn it, Jared.
What's the alcohol content on this one? Did it say?
It's not on there. I'll look it up
Yeah, they
real
don't put
quick.
them on the cans on these ones.
Yeah, they're smart.
Damn you guys. You guys are going to love this one, aren't you?
Because they did like
I
9
know you
point.
hate it.
I don't hate it, but you guys are going to love it way more than I do.
Well, I mean,
well, you know, I like pineapple. I like cake, but I don't like pineapple upside down cake. So
It is a 6.5. So
Oh.
not quite the 9 point something of Mean Della Cream, but well, that's assuming they weren't lying.
still respectable though, especially for the Berliner Weiss.
Well, 450 North had like 10 percenters for a while too.
I wish it tasted like it smelled.
You and Windmill have a weird relationship.
I agree, dude.
Because for some reason, we all will love Windmill.
I know,
And you're
I
like,
agree.
meh.
Windmill-
And then you'll throw out that one fucking 450, which was garbage. And you're like, oh, it's a 3.5.
How was that?
You
Do
got
that
it.
again.
I don't know, I just want to see like how whatever that noise tone was.
Windmill to John is like that pretty girl everybody agrees is hot, and he's like, yeah, I don't know.
She's
You're like,
overrated.
what's wrong with you?
I bet her personality's terrible.
Are you dead downstairs? Are you her personality? I bet she has gross toes. Shut up. Shut your mouth.
Her neck's just a little long, isn't it?
Oh my goodness.
Oh god, gross toes.
Oh, that's
So
Windmill for
before
John.
you say what you're about to say, I will say this: the nose is unbelievable.
4.5 on the nose.
Yeah, the taste doesn't match the smell, but I would
I
say,
like the.
Okay.
Oh, so many comments.
I know. It's just like, don't do it. Don't say it.
Tee it up for you. Go for it.
There.
Nope. Anyway,
Smell it first. That's all I gotta say.
Sniff check.
evidently it doesn't match.
All right.
John agrees.
The only thing about it that the doc I'm gonna have is I'm getting a little bit of a chemical film at the end. I think the sour, it's just the right amount of tart, just a little tart. The overall flavor, I am getting most of the ingredients of a pineapple upside down cake. I think it's a very solid brew. The difference between this and like the Mean Della Cream or even the raspberry that we had one time is there's just a little bit of a film on my tongue that's not a pleasant film. It's a little bit of that fake chemical film.
Mm-hmm.
Overall flavor I think is really solid, but I think there is just that something there that docks it just a hair for me. John, what about you?
Like I said, the smell of that is like a 4.5. It smells fucking delicious. I'm resetting my I forgot it's Berliner Weiss. So because it is a little bit more sour than I was anticipating because it's pineapple upside down. I was going for sweet, right?
I read it out loud.
I know, but I forgot it's Berliner Weiss.
I do the
No
same
one,
thing.
no one
Most of us
listens to
do.
you.
You're reading as we're smelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like,
Yeah.
oh,
We're
okay.
nose
I
deep.
got
We're two
one.
nostrils into this thing, and you keep reading.
It's
One of
not-
us has to do the job.
That's off
And I
screen Mike's
think-
shirt.
Yeah.
2 nostrils deep.
Off screen Matt, 2 nostrils deep.
The chemical that you're describing, I get. To me, that chemical is like kind of cherry cough syrup-ish.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That's kind of where I'm going with that.
Which
I can see that.
I love cherry NyQuil. I mean, I love Jaeger. It's the same damn thing.
I
but
hate
What is it?
Jaeger.
I love cherry NyQuil. I drink it at least.
And
a night a
Jaeger
week.
is black
That's right.
licorice.
I know.
And it's a bomb,
And it's
baby.
cherry NyQuil,
You have
too.
it, a Jaeger bomb?
Oh, he'll just drink Jaeger.
Oh, that's just stupid.
There's a story of legend in this
Well,
neighborhood.
yeah, there's
Yeah, he's a legend in this neighborhood.
verified.
Legend in this neighborhood.
What are your thoughts, Pete?
I like the smell a lot. It's really easy to drink. It goes down really easy. I've had this before. I have not drank it when it wasn't in the can, so I had no idea it looked like that.
It's a nice color.
It was like, I poured it out, I'm like, oh,
beautiful
holy
color.
shit, I didn't know it looked like that. I should have been pouring it in a glass the whole time.
Which
Kids
we
were
do
thinking-
recommend.
Yes, always. Well, a lot
Unless
of
the
times-
can says, drink out of the can.
Which, didn't we have one of those recently?
Very few of them do.
They're like, because our beer's so ugly, please drink it out of the can.
I'm kind of...
Do not turn the light on in that, girl.
Please enjoy in the dark.
Yes.
drunk and in the dark. This is
Wake
perfect
up
way to
and
have
leave
this.
before you're sober. That's our beer. So, no, so I do like it
Milwaukee's
because
best.
it is light and refreshing. It is definitely not the Mean Della Cream by any means,
Nah.
but at the same time,
It's definitely the same vein.
It's right there. It is not the same alcohol percentage though. There's a big jump.
Mean Della Cream was like 9.3.
Yeah. It was a good surprise. We all liked it.
Considering we
Except
graded
John.
it. Him and fucking Windmill, dude.
Yeah, it is what it is. I want to know what yeast they're doing. I don't know.
Pete, why
There's
don't you
things I
go
wanna get
first?
into.
I am gonna put it at 3.25.
Jonathan?
I'm gonna go 3.
Honestly, we're all kind of in agreement, and it's funny because John's not a huge Windmill.
I actually like this better than
Pete-
the cream.
Oh my
Shut
god!
your dirty
I don't-
hole.
I don't even. Shut it off. Space, shut it off. Pretty much out. I don't even know what to do.
All right, I need it to be off-screen John and on-screen Matt. Let's.
Oh, I get upgraded.
You have to be on
I don't
camera.
even know what to do right now.
Alright, I can look down the whole time.
John just broke the internet. Thank you.
But I'm gonna agree with Pete. I'm gonna give it a 3.25 as well. I think it's good. I'm not gonna search it out. There are better. There's Windmill beers at will, for instance. Mean Della Cream. But it's just, it's good.
What
but
about better pineapple?
for
upside
me,
down?
it's the cough syrup taste is what's kind of getting me a little bit.
I want to say Windmill's meme series, let's put it out that way, are great summertime beers.
And we've never had one under a
Yeah,
3.
overall,
Yeah.
a good average on them, yes.
Yeah, right. They're producing good stuff, and
It's
obviously,
too heavy cherry.
Oh yeah, I think that's my biggest.
I need a
issue.
little bit more sweetness. It's too heavy cherry.
Well, can I say that's where
No.
I was saying that the smell and the taste don't match, because the Berliner Weiss style of it is the more tart, it's a little more cherry-centric on the tongue.
Yeah.
On the nose, it smells like a fresh pineapple upside-down cake.
Yeah.
But to me, that's a win.
I'm tasting that. When I smell, I'm actually tasting the sugar glaze when I smell it.
I love pineapple, I love cake, but pineapple upside-down cake, I don't like it. But
I love pineapple. I love cake.
yeah, it's like fruit good, cake good, fruit cake nasty crap, you know. But pineapple upside down cake, I
I
never
love
liked it.
pineapple upside down cake.
But this smell, it gets the smell that I do like, and it's got the cherry taste, and like the finish has a little cakey finish, and like a kiss of pineapple. So like I can get where they're going with it. It's not the pineapple flavor upside down cake that John's looking for, but I like it as not a pineapple upside down cake fan because it's enough of those flavors, but slightly different. It's got that little bit of tartness that he wasn't expecting that I was. I think it's really good. I would have gone a 3.5 had my vote counted. So not that high above the average, but slightly.
so as
Still would have been.
so as
Hey,
you're
3,
pouring
2, 5.
this, the best story
Take a
about
sip of that.
this beer is when I saw the post on the Indie Beer Snobs. I went and bought all the beer out that they had of Windmill, and I never read the label, and I thought it was Mean Della Cream. So disappointed when I opened it.
What is
Because I
this?
still didn't read the label, and I opened it. I'm like, "Whoa, was I super drunk when I tried that? Because this tastes nothing like what? No, that's pineapple. Oh shit, this is the wrong can."
Was Mean Della Cream peach and
Mango.
mango?
It was mango.
Mango?
Milkshake.
Okay.
Also, speaking of Twitch, I do what Nintendo don't.
I like that name.
That's a great name.
Go to Cam
It
Woodman.
says, "Allo, cheers, what we're drinking," and has some
Ooh.
cheers glasses. So we just finished a Windmill Beer Mean Della Cream series,
And
now we're on to
And we're about to drink Copper Kettle Brewing Company and Big Grove Brewery. This is a combination, I'd assume.
Collaboration.
It's
Sound,
Or did
it's a
they
big
just
one.
pour 2
didn't
beers
really
into?
read that very well.
Was this a Taver beer? What's
This
it
is
from?
one of my Taver
Okay.
beers. It is Into the Woods. It is a blackberry and raspberry sour. It is a 1 pint, 3.2 fluid ounce can.
One.
So it's a 19.2 ounce can.
Sticky feet.
It's best serves in tulip glasses, it says. Something weird. Hold on. No, hold on.
Something is weird.
Something weird.
There we go. Something weird happened on the way to Colorado from Iowa. Some full-bodied Midwestern lactose stumbled through a berry bramble, and this perfect kettle sour was born. Raspberries and blackberries give a tart, fruity zang, and lactose adds
Wang zang.
ideal body to this delectable treat. From the fields of Iowa City to Denver's Rocky Mountains, we know one thing. Thirst happens. When it does, support your local brewery, grab a can, and head into the woods. Collaboration Festival 2020. The percentage is a 6.3% ABV. It is a kettle sour with lactose, raspberries, and blackberries from Iowa and Colorado. I love both. I love their logo stamps, though.
Yeah.
For as hard as it was,
I've actually eaten at the Copper Kettle.
for as hard as it was to actually read most of the shit on the fucking can, I love the brewery stamps.
By the way, that artwork's pretty good too.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're getting ready to switch off, so I
Okay,
can
yeah.
drink the beer.
So I did have dinner or lunch at the Copper Kettle and drank some beers, and this is better than anything I had when I was out there.
Well, I haven't even
They
sipped
were
it
not
yet, so
great.
okay.
So give me your nose feel right off the bat.
Nose feel or nose smell?
It's sweeter nose than I expected for a sour.
Okay, so it's changed. Smell it again.
Well, first initial smell was stinky feet.
Yeah, so when it had
It's
the
still a little
large
bit
head
there.
on it, it smelled bad.
Oh, see, mine was sitting there, so I didn't.
So you lost it. Now
There's some stinky
There's
feet.
sweet to it.
it smells like everything it tastes now.
Yeah, yeah.
But with the head on it, it was not
Yeah,
a
it was
pleasant.
not
It's not.
We were looking at each other like you were
Really?
talking. I'm like, oh, it smells
It's not
bad.
nearly as sour as I expected.
No. Oh god. Even now the smell's kind of like. Whoa.
But
There's
when
a
we
little
both
bit-
taste- But the,
The candy can was the perfect angle for that.
but you know what? The taste.
I mean, it can't be that bad a smell. I'm not
No.
getting that kind of smell.
No, so when you first poured it though, it was like a fat man's feet buried in shoes for 2 days.
Or was the foot lodged deep in an ass?
Yeah, it was.
Oh my lord.
But
Oh.
and then what's amazing is we both tasted it at the same time, and we looked at each other and we're like, "Oh,
my god.
you're still talking about this.
Yeah.
This tastes. Now I don't know what to think because it smelled like
It's
ass,
confusing.
and
Uh-huh.
it tastes pretty good. And then I don't know if it's because we tasted
He's
it,
right.
It's a
and
little.
now we're pulling that smell out of it.
It's a little bit of a dry mouthfeel, only slightly, but most sours
Yeah.
are a little drier.
To be expected.
I am getting a little sweeter at the beginning than I expected.
Yeah.
That blackberry sweetness, along with that lactose, definitely hits you early.
There's a little bit of a jam quality
Yeah,
to this.
the raspberry's a little later, and a little more tart at the end. And it's funny because this is more jammy. This flavor is something I would be more okay with some of the peanut butter and jelly beers that we've had.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
more the
no
jelly
peanut butter
I
in
would
that.
like.
Yeah.
You add
Yeah.
peanut butter to this, and I think we're closer to a PB&J beer than we've gotten ever
Ever.
on this show.
Yep.
Not that I'm bitter or
In
anything.
21
So-
episodes.
would you guys be up for
No.
Yep.
one night?
Doesn't involve a cake.
You do a mixing of a
You say
beer.
a cake?
So you got a really good peanut butter stout and something like this that's a
Oh,
jelly base.
if I had
and go ahead and mix it right here.
if I had another can of this, I would absolutely be willing to
That's why you
split.
always buy two, Tyler.
No,
Well,
I'm
so
cheap.
I almost give it because it's not that sour and it's sweeter. It almost feels like a cider.
It just
It
got some
has
quality
that-
to
it's
it.
not as sweet as a cider,
No.
but it's not sour like because I don't like sour beers.
More like a drier cider.
Yeah.
If it was slightly more carbonated, I would definitely be on board.
That's
with
what I was
it.
gonna say. I think the carb level is the difference.
I think all the carb went in that smelly head
Oh.
that was there.
Yeah, between that
I
and,
wish
and
you
the
would've
first
smelled that.
sip,
What?
The first sip
Hey.
was overwhelmingly sour with that smell. I was like, this isn't gonna pan well. And then, like, after the head died out, I smelled it a little more.
So
and I
what
drank it
I'm
more,
hearing
it
is,
balanced out.
being the guy that put his glass in front of the can
You won.
You won.
Yeah.
made me the happy guy on this panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're not getting mind screwed here like
It
the rest of
blossomed into
us.
much
'cause-
better than that first smell and drink let it out to be.
This is funny because I can't even contradict them because I don't know what the fuck they're
You
talking
don't.
about.
You're out of
We're
your
all in
element, Tyler.
agreement. You just missed out.
And I'm sitting, which I'm okay with,
Yeah, you
evidently.
missed out in the best way. Like, you don't even
Yeah.
know what we're talking about.
I'm just sitting here like, oh, you can look at my glass. Like, I'll let them get first,
No, it was
No,
that
I don't
bad.
know if he's missed out because our beer changed significantly.
It did.
It went from I think this is gonna taste like crap to oh that's very surprising. Now it smells better. What's going on?
If you
I'm
take
gonna
a-
keep drinking it.
If you take a big gulp, you do get a little bit more of the sour.
Big
But
gulp, huh?
even that, it's still,
It's not bad, yeah.
Kinda
you get a little more at the back of the palate. Like a
Yeah.
little bit, you get just a little bit of that when you take a big gulp, but nothing.
I don't have big gulp.
Yes, dear.
We got a couple people that have, like, commenting on here. Melissa Hedge says, "Sup, fellas? Cheers."
What's
Cheers.
up?
Jared Shaw is jealous of these camera transitions. You're welcome, baby. And I do what Nintendo don't. It said, "Sorry, I was lurking. What are you drinking?" And to segue out of those camera transitions, how about we throw that back up a can?
Yeah.
So give a little camera.
So real quick,
we know what
again,
it
it is Into the Woods, Blackberry and Raspberry Sour by Copper Kettle and Big Grove.
You do the beer rub, John.
Yeah, you haven't done that yet.
Signature.
When you were talking about the bomb.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, you did. You're right.
The sexy beer rub.
This beer's I'm more impressed than I expected. Of all the sours I bought, I did on my Taver shipment lean very sour heavy, but that's because with John and Matt also ordering beers, I don't really have to worry about the dark beers.
Yeah.
Although
That's mine.
Matt's all of a sudden started ordering a
This
shit
is
ton
not
of
coconut.
Matt started ordering a shit ton of IPAs lately, and I'm still weirded out about that.
Because they're the hazy ones.
But in general, I don't have to worry about anything dark really. So I'm getting the sours because I do like sours. I do like Berliner Weisses to an extent, but also because we do need that balance on the show.
Yeah.
And so this was the one when I ordered it. I bought it because it wasn't very expensive. It was a bigger can. And I do like blackberries. So I was like, well, I'll try it. But it was the one I was least enthusiastic about. I'll try it. But it was the one I was least
blackberry
enthusiastic
very
about. Blackberry. You don't get that.
Blackberry. Have you ever had that?
No, I haven't.
Blackberry. It varies. Have you ever had that?
I did too.
Blackberries. Oh, those are even better.
I did too.
All right, so how about that beer rating, Taylor? What do you got?
So who goes first?
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, man. I'm gonna dock it probably a quarter point for that initial. I'm gonna dock it probably a quarter
Well, that's bullshit.
Smell is part of the whole overall flavor experience.
Smells great to me.
Which smell?
Smells great to me.
Well, you missed out.
Smells great to me.
Smell.
The bouquet that we got to taste.
The smell I got was
But
fantastic.
I do think it is very it's a jam. It's a jam. But I do think it is. So I'm gonna go.
So I'm not a salad guy. I'm really not.
Oh, I know.
I'm gonna go fruit salad.
Ooh.
You don't get that flavor very often. It's really good, and like I said, I like how I thought it was gonna taste like shit. Then it tasted good. Then it smelled better. I got mine fucked. So I like what's going on. You know what? But you know what's funny? I like what's going on. Something on nitro and you let it sit. Right? If you poured this out of the tap and let it sit, you would have never known that it smelled like crap when it first came out.
For instance.
For instance. We're like, oh God, what did I just walk into?
He walked through a crop dust.
I'm gonna agree with Pete. It's a 3.5 in my book, which gives it a 3.5. I'm gonna agree with Pete. It's a 3.5 in my book. Off-screen Matt, what would you give? Off-screen Matt, what would you give?
3 1/4. I think 3.5 is pretty good.
We've all been ridiculously consistent, other than one beer.
Just being just loving the sour guy, it's kind of my thing. The initial flavor wasn't as good. It didn't grill me as I went through it. Like it kind of was more jammy, but the smell dissipated. So it got better the more that I drank, but it's not one that I would be as inclined to go
Really,
for.
my score and the average
I
have
think
been
Pete's
exactly
right,
the same every fucking
I
beer.
would want to blend this into a peanut butter stout.
I would be willing to try that as well.
Oh, that would be.
You're welcome for the great idea. You know, you're
Oh,
awesome.
is it bad that we need to search this beer out? Is it just we need to search this beer out? Alright, we're not searching you out necessarily for you.
But you know what? Hey,
necessarily
if you're listening, what is it? But you know what?
Copper kettle.
Copper Kettle, you need to make a peanut butter stout and mix it on site. You need to make a peanut butter stout
Didn't
and mix
misfade
it
in the
on
settings,
site.
but we're getting told that Copill there's a crazy amount of echo.
Who said that?
A couple of people.
Anybody we know?
Jared, Brett, and I do what Nintendo.
Is it just
we know?
recent?
Jared, Brett, and I do what.
Was that us dicking
just-
around?
At least the first time that it's been mentioned.
Was that us dicking around?
But,
Well, we're getting ready to go to our break.
Side note, I do
We're
want
getting ready to
Nintendo
go
is
to
also from
our
Ontario, Canada. So thanks for checking us out from up
Yes,
north.
thank you.
He is officially
Smash that like button.
Why do I have so many notifications from work?
Smash that like button.
Why do I have so many notifications? No, so I will say this. Are we? No, so I will say this.
Jared said he had the last 2 minutes.
So I will say this.
Jared said he had That's weird. Thank you for the accurate.
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Wait,
Wait,
hold on. Wait, hold on.
where's our technical difficulty screen, John?
That's our
Switch to voyeur.
Voyeur cam.
Switch to voyeur.
Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, you are right in there.
Switch to voyeur.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello.
Hey, for those of you that said we were echoing, let us know if we still are. Hey, for those of you that said we were echoing, that would be much appreciated, especially since it just happened. That would be Brett literally just texted me too.
Okay.
Echoing something awful.
Matt push the button. Okay.
I did not. All I do is switch to 2 cameras. Watch. Boom. I did not. And boom. That's my job.
do.
2 cameras.
Right after.
And boom. That's my job.
Right after.
So we're gonna go. We're gonna take a break.
And we're gonna come back and do another meeting.
Now we are also going to
No, we're not.
start a brand new one. We are also going.
No, we're not. No, we're not. Yeah, of course we are. I just have to contradict everything John said.
There's less buttons.
I'm so confused. It's like arguing with my wife. I thought I was winning and I lost. I thought I was winning and I
I always
lost.
lose. Yeah, that's fine. Not John. I always lose. John, I always win. Yeah, that's fine. No, not John. Actually, no, John just says I win, and then does whatever the fuck John wanted to do. No, John just says I win,
Let's wrap it up.
and then does. No, fuck that. It's more fun to annoy people.
Echo.
Anyway, though, guys, thanks for watching hour number 2. We are gonna stop the show and go into an hour 3 overpour. I am, as always, TBG_ops guy. As always, TBG_ops guy. With us today. Behind the camera.
I'll scream that.
And we are the Two Beerded Guys. Thanks, guys. Love you.
I'll scream that.
And we are the Two Beerded Guys. Thanks, guys. Love you.
I'll scream that.
And we are the Two Beerded Guys. Thanks, guys. Love you.